So what we want to think about as we talk about picky eaters versus problem feeders is that the kids who are really having very mild issues,
Mhm.
they're the ones who are going to learn to kind of sort of eat a little bit, but oftentimes they're going to do it in very specific ways. Like they don't want to chew anything that's really hard to chew. And so
Mhm.
they avoid what we call real meat. Now, when I talk about real meat, I mean like a breast of chicken, a pork chop, a steak. I
Mhm.
don't mean chicken nuggets, fish sticks, hot dogs, bologna.
I think we're on the same page there, Kay.
We call those pre-chewed meat because the manufacturer chops them up somewhere in the plant, makes them into whatever shape they want, and
Mm.
throws some breading on it, even better. So, but 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 when kids are struggling with their chewing, those foods they're going to gravitate to because they've been pre-chewed.
Yeah,
Um,
they're easy. We all gravitate toward
exactly.
what's easy at a certain point. Yeah.
Exactly. So if I'm having some sensory difficulties, for example, where I don't like the way certain things feel, like things that are maybe wet, I think are slimy. And so now I'm not going to want to do the applesauce. I'm not going to want to do spaghetti sauce on my pasta.
Mm.
I'm not going to want to do yogurt or things like that that we do want our kids to eat, but it's a sensory issue because they don't like the way it feels. Sometimes it's a taste issue
Right.
where they don't like what the taste is. We all have different kinds of taste preferences, and we know that many vegetables are actually bitter. And not only are they bitter, but they're also stringy and very fibrous. And so vegetables have a double whammy against them because they can have a sensory issue for kids and they can have a chewing issue for kids. It's one of the reasons why we asked you if we could use your program as one of our resources, because you do such a lovely job of helping kids how to cook different things to make them taste good and make them easier to chew and work well
Sure.
in their mouths. And
Yeah, we
so
try to
that's
make it so easily accessible.
right. That's what we love about your program. But those are some things for parents to think a little bit about when their kids are rejecting of food. What is it about the food that's the problem? Not what is it about my child that's necessarily the problem, but what is it about the food that's hard for my child? And is there a match between what works well for my child and a mismatch between what I'm trying to feed them as a parent?
Mm.
And that's one of the places we as parents can kind of get ourselves tripped up. So if our kids' development, if something about their body isn't quite working right, and we are trying to feed them really hard to chew foods that are super bitter, the kids are going to reject them. And then we begin to start to have this power struggle.